Hi Aqua Room. Today in Elm this week in science, we're talking about dinosaurs. And I love dinosaurs. So I have all kinds of things to tell you about dinosaurs today. And if you ever want to know more information, just ask me, and if I don't know, I'll try to find out. So first, when were dinosaurs born? Are they still alive? You guys know they are not alive. They're extinct. They were born millions and millions of years ago. Some of them 200, 240 million years ago. That is such a long time. So then it makes me wonder, has anyone ever seen a dinosaur? What do you think? Hmm. No people have ever seen dinosaurs. So things that we know about dinosaurs, we've had to learn, not because we've seen them. We have never gotten any real pictures of them, but there are things that we've learned and we've put together to try to understand what dinosaurs were like. So let's talk about some characteristics of dinosaurs first. So what is a characteristic? That is something about a dinosaur, or if we were talking about characteristics of people, it would be something that most people have. Hair is a characteristic. Most people have hair. We have eyes, we have a nose and mouth. Those are characteristics. What about dinosaurs? They had an eyes, nose, and mouth too. And look at these two big guys. What is sticking up out of their mouth? We have those two teeth. But these teeth are much bigger than ours. This guy's teeth were probably as big as a knife you have in the kitchen. That's how long his teeth were. But this guy has really big teeth too. So later, maybe next week, we'll talk about why these dinosaurs' teeth look like that and other dinosaurs' teeth are different. So dinosaurs had teeth. What else do we know about dinosaurs? They walk, right? Just like we do. Well, not just like we do, but they did walk. Look at these dinosaurs. All of these on this page have 4 legs and they walk. Oh, not all of them. So these dinosaurs all have 4 legs and they walk on all 4 legs. These two dinosaurs, can you see them? These two right here, they have 4 legs, but they only walk on 2 of those 4 legs. And there are some dinosaurs that didn't walk at all. Well, maybe they still walked, but they could also fly. Like this one, Archaeopteryx. Let me try that again. Archaeopteryx. Some of them are really hard to say, but this one had wings and feathers. Now, some dinosaurs had feathers without wings. They didn't fly because you have to have wings to fly, but the feathers kept them warm. So this one had feathers and he did fly, we think, or he at least glided. That means he would spread out his wings and just sail. Just move in the air, not flap his wings to fly, but just glide with his wings out and use the wind to carry him down to the ground or up in the air. So they had teeth, some had wings, they had 4 legs or 2 legs. What else do we know about dinosaurs? We know that they laid eggs. Here's a picture of a Maiasaurus dinosaur nest. Do you see the baby dinosaurs? Maiasaura is my favorite dinosaur because they took care of their babies. Maiasaur took care of their young in a nest until they were old enough to fend for themselves, to be able to do things on their own. So they were kind of like people. Maiasaura took care of their little guys until they grew up. But dinosaurs are born from eggs, just like chickens lay eggs and penguins lay eggs and a lot of other animals. You think of what other animals lay eggs. So dinosaurs started out really tiny and they looked like their parents, but a lot smaller. Just like penguins look like their parents, but smaller. And another thing about dinosaurs, some of them had skin. Well, they all had to have some kind of skin because the skin holds in their insides, right? And it keeps them from getting their insides from getting dirty and getting germs in them. So here's a good picture where you can see their skin. Their skin was kind of like reptile skin or maybe elephant skin. Of course, we don't know for sure because we weren't alive then. We can only guess by what, it's more than a guess. We've learned by what we've known from studying dinosaurs. We're going to talk about that more in a minute, but I wanted to show you another picture. Here are some dinosaurs with all different shapes of heads. Some of them had crests at the top, like this one is a crest. Some of them had a beak. This dinosaur probably has teeth too, but he has a beak. And that beak, this one has a beak too. This beak is a little bit different. That beak helped them to snap off, they were usually herbivores, and it helped them to snap off trees or plants. This dinosaur had a big long mouth, and there's another one with a beak, more like a bird. So they're all a little bit different. I want to find some more pictures to show you. Some of them, like the Triceratops, had horns. He's called Triceratops because he had 3 horns on the front of his face. And there is a skeleton of a Triceratops. It's a fossil. We'll talk about fossils. There is so much to learn about dinosaurs. Some dinosaurs were kind of built like a tank. They had very tough armored skin all over them. This one, Ankylosaurus, even had a club tail. That's a picture of the club tail. That's the bones that were inside his tail. Then here's his tail. Had a club tail, and some of them had spikes coming out. And they could use them as weapons to help themselves stay safe from predators. The Parasaurolophus had a big, here's a skull of Parasaurolophus right here. He had a big horn coming out of the top of his head. Well, I find a picture of that. What do you think he would use that horn for? Do you have any ideas? Here's a picture of a Parasaurolophus. Do you see where that horn would have fit right in here? They use that to make a really loud noise. They could blow air out of it, just like we blow air out. He could blow air through this big horn and make a very loud noise to warn other dinosaurs that danger was coming or danger was near. Kind of like we think it made a loud noise kind of like a trumpet. Here's a Quetzalcoatlus. He flew too. See the wings? This was really a flying reptile. It was alive during the dinosaur time, but we call them flying reptiles. Now, how do we know about dinosaurs? Well, there are certain scientists that study dinosaurs. I found a Dr. Seuss book that had some pictures. And look, they found some dinosaur fossils. Remember, fossils are the bones that dinosaurs leave behind. This is a fossil of a dinosaur. So they find the bones in the ground. So they were alive millions of years ago, and the dinosaurs would die for whatever reason, and then they would lay in the mud, or they would just be in the mud and the dirt, and it would rain, and it would be windy, and they would get completely covered with dirt. And then that dirt would press down and press down and press down and turn into rock. And then inside the rock, now when we dig down really deep, inside the rock we find fossils. And I want you to see what they're doing over here. They're making a mold. Most of the time when we find dinosaur bones, we make a mold first because dinosaur bones are very fragile. So here's one of the tools a paleontologist would have used. A paleontologist is a scientist that studies dinosaurs. They're not the only scientist that studies the dinosaurs, but that's one name. This is a brush. Kind of looks like a paintbrush, or if you bake a lot, maybe a pastry brush, but it's a brush and they just brush dirt away. That way it doesn't hurt the dinosaur. And of course those came in all different sizes. Here's a bigger one. They could just brush the dirt away. And then back in the Dr. Seuss book, there's a picture of a chisel, or kind of looks like some sort of a pickaxe. And see, there's his brush. And they can use that chisel. They use a lot of smaller chisels too. And they can just really slowly break away pieces of rock so that they can see the dinosaurs. So they can see the dinosaur bones. So then the scientist or paleontologist would make a mold of the bones that they find, the fossils. Remember, this is a fossil. And then they would use those molds. By using those molds, they could recreate what they think the dinosaurs look like. So these would also be fossils of skulls. And then they put them together to see what the dinosaur looks like. It's like a big puzzle. There's a picture. I have so many books. Here's another big picture of the paleontologist's tools and them finding the bones in the dirt. And then they would put the skeletons together and make a complete fossil, and that's how we would know what they look like. Okay. The flying dinosaurs. Here's another example. So here's a puzzle that was in the aqua room. I don't know if you guys ever remember playing with this, but this is a T-Rex puzzle. The pieces come out, and do you see the white on here? That represents the bones. So the scientists would find the bones in the ground, and then they would put them together. Maybe they would find bones that look like this, just the rib bones, and maybe a front leg bone. Or maybe they would find the skull, the head or the skull, or maybe they would find the back legs, or the tail. And then they would put them all together, just like we put a puzzle together. And that's how we would know what they look like. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of work to get the bones out of the rock to make a mold, and then it takes a lot of time to figure out how they all fit together. Another way that scientists learn about dinosaurs and what they did was their footprints. We're going to talk about that more next week. Their footprints was another way, and also their teeth. Their teeth told them what they ate. So I want to show you one last thing. This is something fun you can do at home to pretend like you're hatching a dinosaur egg. So this is a grater, and I have some soap. I'm just going to grate some soap. You might get mom and dad to help you because graters, these can be a little bit sharp. So just grate your soap, a bar of soap. Ivory soap is good for this, but any bar of soap will work. And then after you get a lot of that grated, you're going to put, mine grates right into another container, but you're going to put some water in there. You see how it looks kind of soupy? And then you get a plastic dinosaur, and you put it inside that soap. And you take it and you squash it together. And when you're squashing it, you're going to squash the water out. I'll show you in just a second. And then you're going to just keep squishing it together and squishing it together. And look, you're going to have a little bar of soap, and you can let that dry, and then you can use it. You can wash your hands, and as you wash your hands, you can think about the dinosaurs. And when the soap is all gone, when you use it lots and lots of times, and you get your hands clean lots and lots of times, because that's what we're doing to stay safe now, then you'll find a baby dinosaur inside the dinosaur egg. So that's something fun you can do. I hope you've learned a lot about dinosaurs today. You see the posters behind me. I'm going to do another video next week to teach you a little more about dinosaurs. There's so much to know. Again, if you have questions, ask Mom and Dad to email me and I'll try to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll find the answer. Thank you. Bye, Aquarium.